Yo guys, welcome back again today, and today we're going to talk about some current news. I want to let you guys know that next weekend, next Saturday, I'm going to do a YouTube premiere with a new video. This is the first time I've ever done it before, so I will join you guys in watching the video when I release it on Saturday, and we can all talk together, laugh together. You guys can tell me what you think about, the video live, and that's going to be next Saturday. I'm going to send out the notifications at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and the video will be premiered at 3 o'clock East Coast time or Eastern time for people in America. Everywhere else, it's going to be Saturday, and it might be night for you, or it might be in the morning, or it might even be the next day, or in Sunday if you're in some parts of maybe Africa or Japan or Europe maybe. But I'll be doing a premiere next week. We're going to watch a video together, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get into the Black news today. So I have my little notes as well right here, right? The virtual notes. I don't have paper notes. I know it's old school, but yo, I'm a little new school. It's a little quicker, right? So the South African president, and his name is pronounced, I want to say, Cyril Ramaphosa, right? He signs a $266 million wage bill, and he says that 6 million citizens will benefit from this. So we're talking about South Africa, guys. This is going to try to combat minimum wage and the labor instability in South Africa. If you don't know about South Africa, it's had for a lot of years, it has a lot of inequality, and it has a big gap between rich and poor in South Africa. So the minimum wage policy looks to fight wage inequality, like I just said. Forming of the minimum wage law started in 2015, and 370 rands, which is about 266 American dollars a month, is expected to take effect on January 1st in 2019. So the law has been trying to be put into effect since 2014-ish. This is hopefully going to take place by the year 2019. So 370 rands, and we must note that around 27% of the country is in unemployment at the time, and there's still, like I said before, there's still a big wealth inequality in South Africa between the poor and the rich. So that's South Africa, and hopefully it works out for them. What do you guys think? Now let's move on to North Centennial Island. Now, if you guys don't know what North Centennial Island is, like everywhere around the world, majority of the indigenous people, all the indigenous people around the world are Black people or African people or people that look black, right? I mean, all these terms are still relatively new. The term black is still a new thing, right? In the grand scheme of history, African is still even a new term. But like, as much as we can try to put a classification on certain things, these people are melanated people. They all come from us at some point, or we come from them. All the same people. They're Black people or African people. And these people have been on the island of North Sentinel for thousands of years, you know, like very, very long time, right? So when this missionary, which I'm pretty sure you guys heard about on the news, but there was a missionary from Washington State that actually went over to the island, and this is an island that is known for the people, the indigenous Aboriginal people that are there. They don't want contact from the outside world. So every time you get close to the island, they'll shoot bow and arrows at you. They'll be aggressive because they don't want the outside world to contact them, and they don't want to contact the outside world, which I think you should respect anybody's way of life, right? And they're one of the last human beings in the world. Of course, there's different tribes in the world still that still do very traditional things, but they're one of the last ethnic groups and tribes in the world that have not actually been contacted, or at least people that have contacted them, for the most part, haven't lived to tell about it. I think in the early 1900s, there were British fishermen or seamen, I think part of the Navy, that took some of the people from the island, but the people soon died because their immune system wasn't used to European diseases and bacteria and things of that nature. So the American missionary went to this island, and then this island's in the Indian Ocean, and he was trying to convert these Seminole people to the Christian religion. And the man was from Washington State and was informed not to go to the island by locals, but he didn't take the warning. And he wrote about this in his couple of days during his journey, and he stated certain things in his journey. He says that the seamen did warn him, and his last hours were where he tried to talk to the warriors coming out of the jungle about God. So he tried to talk to them about God. They were trying to talk to him, communicate. Obviously, they speak two different languages. He speaks English, and they speak whatever dialect they speak. No one still really knows exactly what it is. But there was an account where the chief or somebody that looked like the king of the island. He had like roses around his head, and he looked different from obviously the other warriors. He looks like he was the king. He began to yell at the young man, and the young man in the boat yelled back at him, thinking that he was trying to communicate with him. But I'm pretty sure the Aboriginal indigenous people took it as like a warrior. I mean, you know, you're still talking to people that are fighting for their freedom, so I'm pretty sure they took it as a war sign. Maybe he thought he was being aggressive, or he was being an aggressor. And these people have only seen black people, dark-skinned people, for the majority of their life. Even people that live around those islands, Indian people, other Asian people, they're people of color and as dark as those people, if not darker than those people. So therefore, I'm pretty sure it was pretty weird seeing somebody that's light-skinned come to the island. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, he yelled back and forth with the chief or the king, whoever it might have been. No one really knows exactly yet. And he even tried to use a South African click language, which you guys know if it's like, you know, like John or this, right? There's a click language in South Africa because he was a missionary in South Africa, as always, trying to spread the religion in the European fashion, right? And so he was trying to spread the religion, and he learned a South African language, a click language. So he tried to, because he knew that these people were originally from Africa thousands of years ago, so he tried to speak to them in that language, but obviously they didn't respond. I'm not saying that they didn't understand, or maybe they didn't understand partially, but they probably just didn't care. They're probably just like, yo, get away from us first. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then maybe something after that can happen. He tried to do that, and their language, like I said, is still unknown, and the Indian government actually protects these people, and these people, you know, are isolated, and the Indian government, for the most part, as far as what I know and what I've read and what I've talked to people, they protect their way of life. They don't want their way of life to be disturbed. They feel like if these original human beings, the original Asian people in this area, want to live the way that they want to live, they should be able to live the way they want to live. And so the Indian Navy patrols those waters to make sure that a lot of people don't get in and out, even though some people still do. And the missionary also wrote about how he was frustrated. This is his last days, right, or last day there, how he's frustrated, how a little boy shot a metal arrow straight into his Bible. So a little boy shot a metal arrow into his Bible, and he was like, yo, we not having this, you know what I'm saying? Which I applaud him, because, yo, you shouldn't be changing people's way of life, you know, in any form or fashion. Let people be who they are. That's the problem with the world right now. And for God or his family not to be mad, so, I'm sorry, the missionary stated in his journal that he didn't want God or his family to be mad if he died, because he's pretty sure he knew he might, because these are people that are like, look, we're trying to live a certain way, get away from me. To be honest with you, if somebody suspicious comes around your house or in your area, your country, you don't think you're going to get a little aggressive with them? Now, you might not kill them, but there's some people out here that would, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful when you go on other people's property and how people view you and what they think you're doing. So this letter was actually given to the fisherman the second time, if I'm correct, the second time that he dropped this gentleman off from America, from Washington, the missionary. And so the missionary told the fisherman, if he was to die or whatever, then to give the message to the world, show it to the world, right? This is all what we're getting from the governments, the news. Who knows if all this stuff is 100% correct, but I think eventually we'll figure it out. And the fisherman actually saw a body being dragged across the beach by the Aboriginal, Indigenous, North Sentinel people, black people. So, you know, sometimes it's not good to stick your nose where you shouldn't stick your nose. I understand some people have religion, some people don't, but it's not good to force newer religions onto people that have had their way of life and their religions, whether it's traditional African religions or whatever. And it's not good for you to think that somebody's wrong just because they don't believe in the same religion and God as you. I just feel like that's just not right. So, you know, that's the outcome of that. So I wouldn't really suggest that to really too many of anybody to do certain things like that. You got to be careful in this world. Now let's move on to Blac Chyna. If you guys don't know Blac Chyna is I don't really know how she even got rich, to be honest with you. Blac Chyna is not even an entertainer. She's a personality in America, right? I think she's from Cali. I knew she got rich because she married Kim Kardashian's brother, I think, or maybe they didn't get married I think they had kids together, and then she cheated on him and did a couple things. But if you guys don't know, Blac Chyna is trying to be a hip hop artist. So she released a song, I think like a week or two ago. I didn't think it was that horrible, but some people think it's trash, but I don't think it's bad. But then again, I don't follow her like that. So maybe they have certain stereotypes about her that I might not know, outside of a lot of people say that she's a hoe, you know what I'm saying? But also, she just started a skin lightening cream company. So a skin lightening cream company, right? So Blac Chyna has had backlash after her skin lightening cream products have launched. So in America, in Nigeria, in Africa, because obviously, you know, in the black community, especially in West Africa and the Caribbeans, we have a and even in East Africa, we have a very, very bad thing about bleaching our skin. I don't even know why people do it. Love who you are. I understand that I'm not the darkest person, but I mean, God, come on, like, you need to love who you are. Light skin, brown skin, dark skin. Like, you need to love who you are. You don't need to bleach yourself, you know what I'm saying? But she also received backlash from black people, like I said. And when she went to Nigeria, she actually had a launch in Nigeria for her lightening skin cream company, right? She had a launch in Lagos, Nigeria. So if you guys don't know, Lagos is the biggest city in Nigeria. It's a huge city. It's a poppin' city. It's Lagos. Hey, all my Lagos people, you know what it is. You know, big shout outs to Lagos. I got people from Lagos, you know what I'm saying? And people in Lagos. But she went there, and Blac Chyna was in the capital, like I said, of Lagos, and she received high backlash. And, you know, she received it from famous people, from non-famous people, fans. And there was actually a count of public figures, like I said, speaking out in Nigeria against her while she was doing an opening. I think she went to a hotel and then she had like a club party or something like that for a launch. And then also Blac Chyna almost got into a fight with a fan or some bystander. I don't know exactly what it's about, but I think they almost got in a fight because the person didn't want her to bring skin cream or lightening cream to West Africa. I mean, it's already there, of course, but she didn't want her to promote it because she's somebody famous. She doesn't want her to promote bad things like that, of course. And Chyna and other cream followers say that the cream is not a whitening cream, but it's meant to get rid of spots, dark spots on your skin. Now, I think there's two different versions of that. I can understand if people have like different color skin on their skin and they want to get rid of it. Look, every human being has their own choice and they can do what they want to do. So if you wanted to make your skin, certain spots on your skin, you know, the same color as the rest of your skin, okay, cool. I have no problem with that. I don't think you should use some kind of whitening or bleaching cream, but I understand, like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not into that. So I don't know what would be safe naturally to how to make your skin tone a little bit different in certain areas and what would be. But I know one thing for sure is that you can say that this is your loophole on how to get out of saying that this is lightening white cream, but this is white cream. And people, even if you don't intend it to be that way, which I'm pretty sure you do, but let's say you don't, let's give you the benefit of the doubt. There's going to be a lot of people in West Africa and America that's going to hate themselves, or they feel like they want to be lighter because of what society has made us think about light-skinned people or light-skinned black people, that they might be better or whatever it might be. And there's going to be a lot of young, impressionable people in America, in Africa, in the Caribbean, right? In Europe, in Asia, everywhere in the world. Black people are in Central America, South America, and they're going to take this cream and make themselves light-skinned. So I don't even think that she should be even promoting this kind of business at all. You know what I'm saying? It just seems too fishy. It's like, yo, like, you could have did something else to make your skin. I don't know what it was, but you could have did something else, but not something that is like a white cream. I mean, you already know how bad that problem is. It's hard for me to feel like you don't know how big of a problem is bleaching your skin is in the black world, because even if you're from America, you're African American, you've still heard of it at some point. There's some African Americans that have done it every once in a while that want to not be black. So, you know, that's Blac Chyna. She went to Lagos. She didn't have the best reception from some people. Some people, maybe she did. But most people, personally, I'm against it. Like, don't bleach your skin. Love who you are. Like, do something. Change your hair. Work on your diet. Work out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be thinner. But don't change your skin tone. You're beautiful the way you are, and you need to stay that way. So, yo, guys, that's the news for today. Always like, subscribe to all my social medias, which is Afric Network, right? Snapchat, Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube. Of course, you're watching it on here, but you can tell your friends. And Twitter is all Afric Network. Yo, each one teach one. Always love yourself. Always learn about each other people of African descent all around the world, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in Honduras, Mexico, Somalia, Nigeria, Egypt, Angola, America, China, Japan, the Aboriginal people in North Central the Aboriginal people in Asia, all throughout these Asian nations and countries. Yo, always learn about each other. Until next time, peace. One love.
What's up? What's up?
Hey.
Shalom.
What up?
Hi.
We bye.
Do you all read about this or hear this? That you used to go up on